Welcome back to Elevation 44. It's your girl B. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back, family. So today we're diving all into the Scorpio full moon that is coming up on April 26th, and that is at 11:32 p.m. Eastern Time. This is going to be falling on a Monday for those of us who are in the Eastern time zone, and then in the other time zones, if you're ahead of Eastern time, then it will likely happen for you on Tuesday, okay? And Monday is known as Moon Day, so moon rules over Monday, so this would be a really good time to tap into this moon's energy. In addition to that, this is also a super moon, okay? It's actually a pink super moon. It's not that the color of the moon is going to be pink, but it correlates during the time of year that a certain particular pink flower grows rampant. So that's where it gets its term pink from. And super moon meaning that it is closer to the earth, and so the energy or the effects of this moon are going to be felt much more intensely. This is actually going to be the closest moon that we're going to have during this entire year, so this is one that you definitely want to tap into. The Scorpio moon is a moon that tends to not necessarily get a good vibe or a good reaction in astrology, just because Scorpio, the moon tends to fall in Scorpio or be debilitated in Scorpio's energy according to astrology, because the moon is exalted in Taurus and Scorpio is the polarity to Taurus, and so that's why the energy falls there. For me in particular, even though that is the astrology behind it, I also think that this moon is when the moon is in Scorpio, it is very intense, but it's very powerful. So it's not that it lacks power, it's just a different type of intensity that it brings that can be very overwhelming to a lot of people. So it is just one to be, careful or just be mindful of how you're working with the energy so that the energy is not working over you, if that makes any sense. You want to work the energy, you don't want the energy to work you. So those are the things that I will definitely just highlight to start. So this moon is also going to be having some opposition and some tension with Saturn and Uranus. It's also going to be getting an additional boost from Mars, which can add some additional intensity into the mix. So this is a moon that is going to be very, very intense. All of the things that I've laid out, it just makes for a very, very intense moon. And the sign of Scorpio energy is already very, very intense. So it is just a very, I want to say high energy, more than just a high energy, more of a very just powerfully deep, intense energy. And you can be feeling that well before the moon even goes into the sign of Scorpio, okay? Now, everything to do with Scorpio energy is about emotional intelligence, intuitiveness, depth, intensity, really connecting or uncovering things that are hidden. So it's really that energy that brings things up to the surface, things that are beneath that cannot be seen, things that are deep in the subconscious. It's really good about unearthing things, but also connecting to things that have not that don't have a physical form, that is, hidden. So this is a really good energy that a lot of people like to use, and I think one of the best energies to work your magic under. It is very, very powerful, so you have to be careful what kind of magic and what kind of things you're directing your energy towards, but this is one of the best energies to do that, okay? It is the sign of Scorpio. Honestly, that energy is very, very ambitious. It's super ambitious. I would say next to Capricorn, this is the second most goal-oriented and really focused on achievement and results and just getting things done, okay? Its fixed nature makes it one of those energies that likes to finish or close things off or get things done, check things off the list, make things happen and get things accomplished. I hope you get the gist. So this energy is really going to highlight a lot of that as well. It also is about more of the inner results or the inner achievements, whereas with us being in Taurus season, which is also a fixed sign and it also has fixed energy, that is, focused on, achievement and results and stuff like that. That is more from an external physical material point. So this is more of a spiritual, emotional, just kind of checking those things off, like internally, the things that you want to accomplish and get done. So I will highlight the difference between that and like Taurian energy, right? The intentions that we set at the new moon 6 months ago, back in November, which we were really focused on setting new goals around, new foundations and just, really like planting some new seeds for some of the things that we wanted to accomplish. We get to see the fruits, or we get to see the crops, right, that have bloomed from the seeds that we planted 6 months ago. So this is a great time for you to go back and review what you set into motion during that Scorpio new moon, okay? Another thing I will mention about this moon before I kind of get into everything else is that on this very same day, on Monday, we have Pluto, and Pluto is the planet that rules over Scorpio energy. We have Pluto that's currently in Capricorn, stationing to go retrograde, okay? And Pluto is going to go retrograde for the next 5 months. So with Pluto actually, retrograding on the same day as this Scorpio moon, it's adding even more intensity. It's shifting the focus into more of an internal energy, which is really centered around power and control issues. Power and control issues are going to be highlighted all up and through here, okay? And I have an entire video that I just filmed about the Pluto retrograde and how it affects you based off of what house Pluto will be transiting for you. So go ahead and check that out. I'm just going to go ahead and link that down in the description box or somewhere in this video up here so that you can check that out as well if you want more insight into how the Pluto retrograde will affect you personally. All right, so let's get into the facts of the Scorpio full moon. All right, so the facts are: the element that the Scorpio energy is associated with is water. So we're talking about emotional intuitiveness and intelligence and all of that type of stuff. The quality or the mode is fixed, and I explained earlier, it's all about finishing and closing and getting things accomplished. The planets that rule over Scorpio's energy are Pluto and Mars, okay? So Pluto is more of the modern ruler, Mars is more of the traditional ruler, but this is bringing intensity, this is bringing passion into the mix, okay? The house that Scorpio rules is the 8th house. And this is the house of transformation. This is the house of all things hidden, occult, the spirit, I would say spirituality more so in terms of the spiritual beings and things that you may come across and have interactions with, and occult or esoteric knowledge. Also, this is the house of shared resources, death, sex, rebirth, all of that good stuff. So that is the energy that encompasses the 8th house. The polarity to Scorpio's energy is Taurus, and like I said earlier, Taurus is just the opposite of Scorpio's energy because it's focused on mastering or really about the material or the physical realm. And Scorpio is the opposite. It's about the emotional, spiritual, the things that you cannot see, the things that you cannot touch, that are not tangible, okay? So that is the difference between those two energies, okay? And I will also say, if you're not familiar or aware, there are 3 stages to Scorpio's energy, or the maturity of Scorpio's energy, okay? So the first phase that we have is represented by the Scorpio, and this is the scorpion. What am I saying? The scorpion, which is the lowest form or the lowest phase or of Scorpio's energy, or the lowest expression. That's what I want to say of Scorpio's energy, okay? So this is the energy in the Scorpion phase. This is the energy that is expressed mostly through like emotional, like impulses, reaction, anger, a lot of those like lower vibration energies of Scorpio, right? Then the next phase of Scorpio's energy, which is a maturity that happens, out when you move out of that lower form, you go into the eagle stage. So the eagle stage is when you have matured and moved out of that lower expression of Scorpio's energy. And then the final stage, because this is all about transformation, because again, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto, which is all about that transformation and all about rebirth, right? So the next phase is the Phoenix, and the highest phase of an expression of Scorpio's energy is really centered on, again, that rebirth phase. It's like dying and letting those old things die out, letting go, and actually living in the highest form. And that is about detachment and releasing and just being reborn into, let's see, something that has, balance. It's all about balance. I had to look down at my notes because I know I had a keyword circled here. It's all about getting all those extremities with Scorpio's energy balanced out. So that is really the 3 stages of Scorpio's energy. So if you have a lot of Scorpio energy in your chart, you want to be aware of this transformative phase and how transformation is going to be a constant theme for you in your own personal life, okay? So the gifts of Scorpio energy are determined, passionate, focused, imaginative, emotionally intelligent, intuitive, powerful, sexual wisdom, psychic awareness, okay? The challenges of this energy are secretive, jealous, angry, manipulative, possessive, obsessive, and vengeful. So when I talk about the lower vibrations or the lower expressions of Scorpio's energy in that Scorpion phase, that's a lot of what I'm talking about right there, okay? So what is the focus for this full moon, okay? The focus is on 2 particular areas. The first one, because we have Pluto also stationing to go retrograde during the time of this full moon, and Pluto directly impacts Scorpio's energy, we have a major theme of power and control, okay? Power and control is being highlighted, and that's why I made that Pluto retrograde video, so that you guys can have a little bit more guidance on how to dive into this a little bit deeper in your own personal charts. But power and control, how does this play out in your life? How are you exercising your power and control? Are you out of balance in how you express power and control? Are you out of balance in how you receive power and control? And more than that, it's tied to how you are directly impacted with your security and your comfort. What challenges your security and comfort, and what types of extremes are you allowing yourself to go through or receive in order to maintain security or comfort? I will also say things that are secret, the secrets that you're keeping, things that are hidden, things that you are literally suppressing in order to maintain your position of financial or emotional security, and that you don't need to be suppressing those things because those things are actually detrimental to you, and to release them and to bring them up would be to face those things, and it would be hard, but it's what needs to happen for the real healing and real peace and real sense of, not false sense of security, but a real sense of security on all levels: emotional, mental, financial, physical, everything, okay? So I just really wanted to, and I feel like I'm getting all riled up about this, but I'm feeling this in my spirit. I really feel like this is a major thing for us to get into, okay? Then the second area is that this energy, like I said, Scorpio energy is super ambitious. It's very goal oriented, really likes to get things accomplished. And what that can leave us is in a place where we've set these like high marks for ourselves, right? And when we have not gotten there, or we haven't gotten the things that we feel like we should have at this particular point, or we haven't reached certain goals, we get super hard on ourselves. We beat ourselves up. And that actually blocks us from actually being able to move forward and to attract those things. When you are moving in alignment and in purpose, you do not have to chase and try so hard. doesn't mean that you don't put in effort or energy towards the things that you want to bring in. It just means that you don't have to chase, you don't have to try as hard to make things happen. And a lot of us are trying super, super, super hard to make things happen and chasing it extra hard, and that's actually blocking. And then getting down on yourself when it's not coming to fruition, when it's not happening. This is about attraction, okay? When you're in alignment, you attract. Naturally, that is the byproduct of being in alignment, is just attracting naturally, okay? And that theme is going to be something that carries us through the rest of Taurus season. That is the lesson through Taurian season. It's about that attraction, that magnetizing from a place of being aligned, okay? So, getting down on yourself, getting super hard, beating yourself up, that is not the answer. It's really about coming into alignment. That starts with self-love. So before I get into the transits that the moon is going to be making to the other planets, I will say quickly that if you're new to working with moon energy, I have an entire series that talks about how to work with the moon cycle, and I have a video specifically about how to work with the full moon, so all of your basic questions are answered there. So please check that video out, or check out the entire series if you want to have an idea of how to work with moon energy and manifest with moon energy on a better level. That just gives you all the baseline information. I will link it in the description box down below for you as a resource, okay? So let's get into the transits. And these are, again, the only transits we are talking about are the transits that the moon is making to the other planets. And the first one we have up is Uranus and the moon that are opposing each other, okay? The moon, our emotional inner needs and desires, and Uranus is all about change. And Uranus is in Taurus, which is our money, our comfort, our pleasure, and all of that good stuff, okay? So what we have here is that change that is out of our control. Again, back to the control piece, that change that is out of our control is triggering emotional upsets, triggering intense emotional reactions and responses to things because we don't feel like we have a sense of control. And again, it's coming back to threaten our comfort. It's threatening our security, and we don't like that, okay? And there is an art to releasing. There's an art to releasing control, to releasing outcomes, to releasing all of that stuff. And this is what this transit is coming in to highlight, okay? So there is a sense of being over attached to the physical things or the material things, and being detached in a sense from some of the emotional things like connections and relationships and stuff like that. So there's a detachment piece that's happening on an emotional level, and an over attachment piece that's happening on a physical level with money, with tangible items that we feel like are bringing us comfort and security, okay? So this is definitely a major thing that's happening here. Also, impulsive reactions, easy distractions, and looking for excitement or escape to get away from dealing with those things that are triggering or bothering you. So just watch for that as this transit is moving through. The next thing we have is the moon is going to be squaring or having tension with Saturn. And Saturn is our responsibility, okay? This is very restricting and depressing type of energy that can come in. So this, what it does is, because this whole setup that we have here, all the ingredients we have in here for this full moon is already going to be intense. But this transit intensifies the feelings even more. It intensifies the feelings around your lack of progression. When I was talking about that earlier, of us being hard on ourselves because we haven't gotten to certain places that we think that we should be at this particular point, this is going to make you get even extra hard on yourself, okay? This can make you have or trigger low self-esteem, okay? When you're feeling down on yourself, just feeling low self-esteem, like you can't do it, that you, again, self-love is the answer. Nurturing yourself is the answer. Releasing is the answer, okay? This is also making us not very social, not feeling very friendly, being detached with others, and making it hard to connect with other people. So this could be a time where you have some just alone time. introverted time, introversion, you know what I'm saying? Stay home, relax, journal, meditate, do the things that you need to do, write it out, talk it out, you know, that type of thing, because don't force yourself into situations that will trigger you even more. And then the last transit that I will say that the moon is doing is the moon will be trining or having a very synergistic good exchange with Mars. And Mars has just moved into the sign of Cancer, okay? So this can be positive or negative, depending on how you look at it and depending on how you work with the energy. This energy, again, Mars will boost whatever it brings energy to. It just adds an extra spark and just boosts everything up. So it can either intensify all those things that I talked about, like adding more fuel to the fire to make those feelings and those things even more extreme, that if they're on the negative side. But on the positive side, you can channel this energy into being direct, to being assertive, and taking initiative in the areas that you feel like you're lacking progression in. So some of the areas that you've identified, like I haven't reached here, getting aligned, and then getting fueled up and channeling your energy in a more productive and a more positive way. So again, the energy can go both ways. It's up to you to choose how you want to use it. So let's get into the herbs. Some of the herbs that you can use with this energy: kava kava, patchouli, skullcap, dragon's blood, chasteberry. So those are some of the herbs that I would recommend. And then you also have crystals, and these crystals were great for protection, keeping you calm, tapping into that intuition, and also, you know, getting the courage to do what you got to do for you. You know what I mean? So some of the crystals here are aquamarine, labradorite, tiger's eye, and black obsidian. Those are the ones that I would recommend working with. All right. And I am being compelled to it just popped in to tell you guys to protect yourself right now. It's just like protection is just popping into my head to tell you guys to just protect yourselves. If you could protect yourselves through different tools, you can use the herbs that I'm talking about, you can use the crystals, you can use other tools, amulets, mudras, all kinds of things to protect yourself. You can also call on your ancestors, your spirit guides. You can also just use your own energy to create protection around yourself. So just make sure that you're protecting yourself right now. I don't know, it just popped in to tell you guys that. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave you with that, all right? So let's get into the rituals and close off this video. Like I said at the beginning of this video, whatever rituals that you're doing under this energy, you want to be very, very mindful, because this is a very, very potent, I'm going to say it again, you want to be careful because this is a very potent energy, all right? This energy is potent. So be aware of what you're performing, what you're thinking, what you're saying, what you're doing. It is just going to take root and it is just going to, all right? So the first ritual that I will recommend, because we are, you know, talking so much about Plutonian energy, we're talking about power and control, we're talking about kind of diving deeper into some of the things that is going on within us. We're talking about shadow work, okay? So this is going to help us really try to, what the goal of, you know, doing the shadow work is, and bringing some of those things up that are imbalanced within us, is to tap into or imbalance our personal power and strengthen our own mind and intuition, okay? So shadow work is definitely the first thing that I'm going to recommend ritual-wise under this Scorpio moon. And I will also say that in general, if you can take any of these rituals that I mentioned to be outdoors, to be out in nature, if you can get near running water, that's even better. But the, you know, nature, being out in the earth elements, is going to help ground you and support you as you're doing your work. So I just want to mention that as well, okay? Because we're talking about power control and we're talking about the imbalances there, we definitely want to highlight that this is a great time to work on your power and control center, which is controlled by your solar plexus chakra, okay? So solar plexus chakra healing is going to be ideal under this time. The other chakra that you can also work with is the sacral chakra, which is your creative center, okay? That is where the manifestation, that's where you create from. This is creation energy. And Scorpio rules over the sex organs, okay, which are tied to your sacral chakra. So those two chakras are going to be very important to work with and heal and balance. I have an entire series as well on how to heal the chakras, 2 videos specifically, one for each of those chakras. So I'm gonna go ahead and link that down in the description box below so that you can check that out. I give tons of suggestions and ways to help you bring balance or heal those energy centers, okay? And I will say the sacral chakra, just not only with creativity or creation, it's tied to fertility, your emotions, your money, your relationships, okay? And then the solar plexus is really your power and control center. Okay, so again, those 2 chakras are going to be beneficial. Then the last thing that I will recommend, sex magic, because again, Scorpio rules over those, sexual organs. Sex magic is, or tantra is definitely, again, a prime ritual that you can tap into because it's used for manifestation. It's used for creation. Yes, sex is pleasure, but pleasure is the byproduct of creation. So it really is about creating with this energy and manifesting in this energy. All kinds of magic can actually be worked with under this this full moon, specifically the Scorpio full moon, but the sex magic is going to be extra potent and extra beneficial because of the alignment here that's happening, okay? So again, be careful what kind of magic you're working. Be careful what you're doing and how you're channeling your energy. And then the last thing I will say, not necessarily a ritual, but if you are going to use color therapy or you're going to be using candle magic or anything like that, the colors that I would definitely gravitate towards are orange, gold, even yellow. That has to do with those 2 chakra centers that I talked about. So definitely those colors if you want to work that in, okay? So that is it. That is all I have for you today. Thank you for bearing with me with my messages. I feel like I was being like extra forceful today, but that's how it was coming out and I was just rolling with it, okay? Scorpio gang, where are you at? Scorpio moon, Scorpio sun, Scorpio rising, Scorpio whatever, Scorpio Pluto. I know there's a big Pluto and Scorpio generation down here. I know that there are, so many people with different types of Scorpio placements. So go ahead, drop your placements below. If you do not have any Scorpio placements, drop your Scorpio ruled house down below. That is the house where you're going to experience the most intensity in your life. So go on ahead and drop those houses down below and let me know how that plays out for you. I am done. I will see y'all in the next video. Happy full moon. Happy celebrating, manifesting, healing, all of that good stuff. And have a good one, y'all. Peace.